आजकल के टाइम में अपनी एक अलग स्टाइल बना के रखना, अपना एक यूनिक फ्लेवर बना के रखना बहुत ही कम लोगों को अच्छा लगता है, क्योंकि हर कोई एक दूसरे की तरह बनना चाहता है। जैसे वो ट्रेंड आया था कि काइली जेनर जैसा फेस बनाना है, आई थिंक वो अभी भी चल रहा है कि बीज टंग लिप्स एंड थिंग्स लाइक दैट। और ऐसा ही होता है सोशल मीडिया पर भी कि जिस तरीके का कंटेंट चल रहा होता है, एवरी कंटेंट क्रिएटर वांट्स टू क्रिएट दैट काइंड ऑफ कंटेंट ओनली, चाहे फिर वो यूट्यूब पे हो या इंस्टाग्राम पे हो या फिर किसी और भी प्लेटफॉर्म पे हो। बट इनमें से कुछ क्रिएटर्स ऐसे होते हैं जो अपनी ऑथेंटिसिटी, अपनी वॉइस हमेशा से बना के रखते हैं। वो किसी भी ट्रेंड को फॉलो नहीं करते जस्ट फॉर द सेक ऑफ इट। उन्हीं में से एक बहुत ही पॉपुलर फेस आज मेरे साथ है लिटिल फिक्सेस पे, एंड आई एम एक्सट्रीमली एक्सट्रीमली एक्साइटेड टू हैव शरी श्रॉफ विद मी। वेल, शरी को कौन नहीं जानता। आई हैव बीन फॉलोइंग हर सिंस लास्ट 6 years, और जो उनका कंटेंट बनाने का स्टाइल है, जो वो हमेशा ऑथेंटिक रहती हैं, और कैसे चाहे उनका स्पॉन्सर्ड कंटेंट भी हो, वो स्पीक्स लाइक हर। जैसे शरी के सारे वीडियोस होते हैं वैसा ही होगा। तो दिस इज समथिंग आई थिंक एवरी क्रिएटर कैन लर्न फ्रॉम हर। और आज के एपिसोड में मैंने उनसे उनके क्रिएटिव प्रोसेस के बारे में बात करी है। मैंने बात करी है कि कैसे वो अपनी क्रिएटिव फ्रीडम बना के रखती हैं, जबकि हर ब्रांड चाहता है कि उनके हिसाब से कंटेंट बनाओ या किसी पर्टिकुलर टाइप का कंटेंट बनाओ। हाउ डज शी डू इट? कैसे हमारे जैसे कंटेंट क्रिएटर्स अपनी वॉइस बना सकते हैं और अपने हार्ट को फॉलो करते हुए पॉपुलर हो सकते हैं।
Hey there, welcome to Little Fixes, a podcast for the sassy, classy and a little choosy भारतीय नारी. This is Macleod. मैं और मेरे गेस्ट शेयर करते हैं सिंपल प्रैक्टिकल आइडियाज जो आप इजीली फॉलो कर सकते हैं to get closer to the kind of life you want to live. We talk about career, self-care, social media tips, parenting, relationships and so much more to help you thrive. All of this is mixed with a lot of laughter. So my lovely friend, continue what you're doing and join me in this real talk. So Little Fixes पे हमने बहुत सारे लोगों का वेलकम किया है और बहुत अच्छी अच्छी बातें करी हैं. कई सारे एपिसोड्स के लिए आई प्रिपेयर अ लॉट एंड समटाइम्स आई डोंट प्रिपेयर एट ऑल. और कभी कभी ऐसा भी होता है कि कितनी भी प्रेपरेशन कर लो वो लगता है कि कम है. एंड दिस हैपन टू मी टुडे बिकॉज मेरे आज की जो गेस्ट हैं उनकी आई एम अ ह्यूज फैन सिंस लास्ट 6 years at least. तो without further ado, let's welcome Shari on Little Fixes podcast. Hi Shari, we are really thrilled to have you.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
So are we, like extremely excited to have you here. And as I mentioned in my email, my daughter is a huge fan. Like she loves watching your video. She was like, "Mama, आप Shari से recording करने जा रहे हो?" I also want to say hi. मैंने कहा okay, you will come after the recording is done. Like, she is a huge fan. She watches your videos and everything. She knows like हाँ ये शरी है. तो for me also you are the original influencer, a celebrity YouTuber. So to start with, as we all know, you are very well known. I think the most popular YouTuber.
And I don't think so. Not at all. Probably the oldest YouTuber. Yeah, I always say I'm the daddy of YouTube, but because I've been around for so long.
Okay. So yes, but I find you to be the original influencer because you have been doing it for so long. बहुत सारे लोग आते हैं और धीरे धीरे चेंज भी होते चले जाते हैं, but you have been at it just the way you started. Obviously we all change as we grow, but जो आपकी ऑथेंटिसिटी है इट हैज़ बीन इंटैक्ट और हमने सब आपकी ग्रोथ देखी है. तो जो ये इन्फ्लुएंसर वाला आपका जो रोल है उसके सिवा हु इज शरी बियॉन्ड ऑल दिस?
So firstly, I'd say I don't really agree with the term influencer. I think it's more of a PR thing that happened over the last few years. But where I come from, in terms of content creation, I think my content is a big reflection of who I am. And over the years, I feel like that's gotten stronger and stronger as I've gotten older. I think when I started out, it was still very beauty and fashion focused. And now it's more just Shari. You know, it's like the Shari show. That's how I joke and say that I feel like my content is like the Shari show because there are vlogs about just my regular days, my family, my dog, all sorts of stuff. So it's a very real, everyday situation. So yeah, I mean, that's how I see it happening.
And we love that, like your to buy or not to buy videos. Those are favorites, monthly favorites. So yeah, for your random DIYs that you do.
Right.
We love that, your vlogs and everything. So how do you get these fabulous ideas? Like आप बैठ के you think कि मुझे क्या content बनाना है या ideas keep coming to you and you just start working on them?
I mean, a lot of times I have a list which I just generally kind of keep whenever I get ideas to kind of, note them down, because some things are not season specific. Some are, like sometimes I think of something that would be great for summer and winter. So then I make a note of it in my list of videos, and then I get back to it later. Or sometimes on a weekly basis, it's just literally what is happening in my life. So, I mean, if I feel like vlogging, I would vlog. Or my hairstyling videos would be based on the length of my hair at that point. Or or there'd be no hairstyling videos for a couple of years, like there weren't,
Mhm.
because my hair was too short. Or it would just literally be what I'm going through in life at that point. So for me, sometimes it's like a completely no makeup phase when you'll see no makeup videos at
Mhm.
all. Sometimes you'll see a lot of get ready with me is when I'm getting ready a lot. So it's literally, I don't like to overthink it. I like to
Mhm.
kind of keep things current and do them as they're happening. So usually I shoot my content every week and it goes up the same week, or at like
Mhm.
latest the following week. So it's very current, and it's not like a pre-thought out idea like where I would flesh out for the whole month and then kind of shoot those videos and space them out and stuff like that. It's
Mhm.
very like, okay, sometimes I used to even shoot, edit, upload the same day.
Wow.
So it's literally like, I always say it's like what I feel like making is what I make. So a lot of times people are like, oh yeah, but I didn't like this video, but you're making it for your audience. But I feel like for
Mhm.
me, I have to like the content I make first,
Mhm.
and then obviously hope that people will like it.
Yeah, so that leads to my next question कि how do you manage to stay away from that kind of push या फिर that kind of temptation कि जो लोगों को अच्छा लग रहा है या जो दूसरे influencers कर रहे हैं मुझे वो नहीं करना है, like how do you keep doing you?
I mean, I don't think I do it consciously. I just, for me as a person, I feel like as I said, I always want my content to be a reflection of who I am.
Mhm.
So I don't think I need to be very conscious of it because it comes naturally.
Mhm.
It is how I create. For me, I'm a creator that creates basis of my real life experiences, or I get inspiration from my everyday life, or what's happening around me. So
Mhm.
it's pretty much, I'm not someone who really follows a lot of trends and things like that. I literally think of, okay, today I want to make a video about this. This is what I would make a video about. Or if something has impacted me deeply and I want to share that with people,
Mhm.
I'd make a video about that. So for me, I've never been conscious about, oh, that I don't want to make content like someone else, or that I don't want to be one of, I want to be one of a kind, or any of those things.
Mhm.
It's just literally how I think. Like for me, as I said, as I've grown older, I want my content to be genuine, to be authentic, to be really me.
Mhm.
And so in terms of creation, that those are the ideas I kind of get. So
Mhm.
it's very natural to kind of put out that kind of content because that is how I think.
Mhm.
um, and yeah, I mean, I think I like, even I do a mix of stuff that is trending or that people are doing, or
Mhm.
is like festival related, at the same time, as well as like doing completely random stuff that I think of in the shower when I kind of get a random idea. So it's a mix of whatever's happening. There's really
Mhm.
no kind of plan or like agenda to be like, oh, I want to stick out, I want to be different, I want to. It's just literally like, okay, this is what I feel like doing, I'm doing it.
Mhm. Okay, so Sherry's world is all about creative freedom then.
Yeah, pretty much.
So when you do your own thing और सब लोग कुछ अलग कर रहे होते हैं तो फिर डू यू ऑल्सो फेस हर्डल्स लाइक अगर मान लीजिए आपका कोई वीडियो है एंड यू आर वेरी एक्साइटेड अबाउट इट बट इफ इट डज नॉट गेट दैट काइंड ऑफ रिस्पॉन्स तो हाउ डू यू नो कम आउट ऑफ इट या फिर यू जस्ट डोंट थिंक अबाउट इट यू लीव द रिजल्ट टू वट एवर इट विल बी
I mean, I think if I were to say ऐसा कोई video है, that would be a complete lie because it happens every time. So every time I think something is great, it always bombs. And every time I think something is very random and I've just done it with zero effort and really quickly and rapidly, it does really well. So, I mean, I think you can't really control what people will like or not like. And I've realized that after being in content creation for what, like 8, 9 years now, and I've realized that everybody's tastes are different and you cannot like, think or predict what will work and what won't. And I don't really believe in numbers as a indicator of where I am. Like I never like this thing of, oh, someone else's video is done better than mine, or those kind of things. I don't make such comparisons because I don't think it's like, in content creation there's a space for everybody and everybody's doing their own thing. Everybody has their own journey. So I don't really ever look at it as a competition, or as I said, I don't really see what anyone else is doing to do that or not to do that. I also watch other content creators as a consumer. So if I were to watch their content, I'm watching it as a consumer and not as like another creator saying, "Are how have they done this? Should I do this or should I not do this?" Um, so for me, it's literally like I'm on my own path, and like this is what I want to create. Some videos are going to do well, some videos are not going to do well. They're going to be up and down patches, and that's going to happen. So you have to just kind of take it in your stride and keep creating and just expecting that some things are going to do well and some are not.
So कौन सा meditation करते हो आप? Like how do you even manage to stay like this? हम लोग
No meditation. No meditation is the key.
Like you have become accustomed to it over the years then.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's very easy after a point. You have to be more thick-skinned, because if you want to do this long term, you can't be affected by each piece of content that you put out, right? Like if you put out a piece of content pretty much every day now, if you take like Instagram and other platforms into account, you can't keep thinking of each post and thinking, oh, this didn't do well, oh, this did well, oh, people didn't like this, oh, people like this. I mean, everything can't become like, a do or die situation. It has to be like, okay, I put it out, okay, great, people didn't like it, okay, move on, let's move on to the next thing. So yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of where you have to be if you want to do this long term, because there are always going to be people that dislike some of your content. It's impossible that everybody's going to like everything.
Yeah, that's true. Then what about the financial aspect of things? कि मान लीजिए आपका कोई content है और and it was sponsored by a brand. फिर does it hurt your prospects? उस तरीके से फिर कभी होता है कि financial freedom पे मान लीजिए brand ने बोला आपको कि नहीं, आपको this video you have to do is just this particular way we are telling you to. तो मतलब हर तरीके से financial freedom affect होती है, तो मतलब how do you balance it then?
I mean, in my case, honestly, that's not happened because I don't work that way. For me, when I work with brands, brands have 100% trust and faith in the content that I create, and they don't even see the content 90% of the time. It goes live and then they see it live with everybody else. So there's no question of them saying that it should be this way and not that way. And if it were a brand like that, then I wouldn't work with them. I'd just be like, this is not how I work. Can't do this. So for me, both that creative freedom has to be there, otherwise it doesn't work in terms of a brand deal. I don't also do that many brand deals. I like my content creation ratio to be like maybe 80% organic and less than whatever 20% branded or sponsored content. So it literally is actually genuine brands that I love, and they've obviously seen that I love their products, which is why they trust me to create content that's sponsored around their products again. So I've not really had a lot of brands that have given me grief or caused me to not have the creative freedom that I would crave on a job. And yeah, I mean, that is exactly why I kind of choose to work with the brands that I choose to work with and limit them, because I feel like that's how I can maintain that sort of space in terms of my content, my creativity, and all of those things.
Wow, it's so good to hear, because अभी it is very common. लोगों को लगता है कि if we are getting money, तो we will keep doing collaborations, and mostly on influencers feeds we see maybe 90%, 95% collaborations only. Or you are also a full-time influencer, but you are saying that 80% of your content is organic. It's not sponsored.
Yeah, but that is pretty much how my audience knows how I function. And if there is sponsored content, it's always declared that this is an ad or this is a sponsored piece of content. And at least over the last couple of years, I've been very particular about that ever since Instagram introduced their paid partnership tab. And since other countries have started having laws on how to be transparent with your branded integrations and things like that, I have been an advocate for that to happen here as well, because I feel like it's important for our audience to kind of know that we're doing something, branded, irrespective of whether you love the product or no. There's a difference if you're getting paid for something that you should have to have declared that.
Okay, so besides creative freedom and the love for a particular brand, is there anything else you look for in a potential collaboration?
Not really. I mean, honestly, for me, as long as I love the product, that is pretty much the first question I would ask myself. Do I like this product? Have I used the product? Would I ever use the product? Those are the questions I ask myself. And if any of those is a no, then it won't happen. So it's pretty simple as that. And then, after that, it goes into kind of like a creative fit and a financial fit and all of those things. And then it either works out or it doesn't.
Okay, so what will be your advice for people who are looking to become a content creator, not influencer?
I'd say that you need to first understand yourself and why you're doing this, and whether you have a true, genuine love for content creation, or whether it's just because it's the thing right now, because a lot of people seem to think it's okay, I want this, I want a lot of free stuff, I want to make a lot of money, I want to travel a lot, and it looks amazing on the outside. But just like any other industry, it's hard work. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of, there's a lot of physical, mental strain that you have to put yourself through because you're constantly putting yourself out there. And for a lot of people, that can be very difficult. So I would say you need to think about that before getting into it, especially when you get into things really young. Because today I see a lot of kids who are really young who want to do this, and they don't quite understand what they're getting themselves into until a later stage, where it becomes too much to handle. So I would say that you need to understand that this is something that you're putting your life out there. There's going to be both positive, negative things that you can't control about yourself that people will think. All of those things. So think it through before you do it. It's also a really fun job if you love it. So for me, after I could quit my 10-year modeling job because I just literally fell in love with content creation. And at that point, I didn't even make any money from it. I just really loved the idea of what it was, and I got into it. And I was like, it's fine. I'm happy to do this full time. And then it kind of took off in India, and then we started having monetization and brand deals and things like that. So I would say if you love it, it's something that is very creative. It's very enjoyable because it grows with you. And also your content can be molded into whatever your life is at that point, which is amazing. And it's amazing because you can reach people across the world, it's not just limited to your own space or your own city, country anymore. And that's the beauty of it. So I would say it's a great job, but it's just there are a lot of boxes that you need to tick in your head before diving deep into it, because there's a lot of work and a lot of things that are difficult and complicated to handle as well.
Yes. So Sherry, what's next for you? Like, I am expecting some merchandise like cool earrings or t-shirts or maybe cut-offs.
So actually, I had 2020 was the year for me to do a couple of lines and merchandise, but obviously none of that happened with the pandemic. So I'm hoping 2021 is a little better for us, and maybe we can do some stuff then. So yeah, I've had a lot of ideas and I've had a lot of notes drawn out over the last couple of years to do these things, but somehow I don't know, the timing has not been right, or then the pandemic has hit us, and then there's always something that's kind of stopped it. So yeah, it is on the cards for sure. It's just about pushing things and getting them out there. So I think hopefully next year, there should be something.
Yeah, that would be so great. We will be waiting for it. And now, Sherry, I have some fun surprise questions for you.
Okay.
So you haven't been reading a lot lately, but still, I would like to know which is your favorite book.
My favorite book of all time would be Princess by Jean Sasson.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that in your video also.
Yeah.
I read it on your recommendation.
Oh, did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I liked it. Actually, there are multiple views about this series. Some people say it is very stereotyped. Some people say it is very good. So yeah, it depends on your perception. I liked it.
No, I've actually read everything that Jean Sasson has written, and I fell in love with her work because Princess was something I read in school. And the reason I loved it then was because it obviously told me stories about women then in a very far away space. We didn't have internet like we did to do today, or we weren't as connected with things, or the world was a much kind of bigger place then. Where we didn't really realize what was going on in different parts. So for me, that really struck a chord to be like, oh my God, this is also happening in the world, which is why I felt like the book kind of stuck with me. And then over the years, I've read everything she's ever published, and it's kind of been something that I've held on to because it's so different from stuff that I normally read, because I read a lot of fiction. So it was obviously very different at the time to read something like this, and then over the years to kind of stick with it, which is why I love her books.
Okay. So, and also I have seen that you talk about women issues like body shaming या फिर जो color complexion वाली बात आती है. You have talked about all these things. So like women issue के बारे में आप इतने open हो, तो there must be at least one woman you admire the most. We would like to know who she is.
Oh wow. I think for me, inspiration is very close to home. I would say my mom and my elder sister Anaita, because growing up I kind of idolized the two of them, and I kind of was encouraged to live life on my own terms from a very young age. So I was encouraged to model when I was really young, because I wanted to do it. Like my parents let me start modeling at 16, which at that point was really like young and not common. We were also given the freedom to like dress the way we wanted to, or date who we wanted to, or all of those things. So I think that kind of empowerment and that kind of exposure has kind of molded me into the person I am today. So I always say it's my family that has kind of pushed me or made me the person that I am today. So I would definitely say, if you say women, I would say my mom and my sister for sure.
Okay, I am a big fan of your sister. Like, I didn't know you; I knew her before you. And then one day, when the first time I came across your picture, I was like, she looks like Anita Shroff, and her surname is also Shroff. Let me see if she's a sister. So that was my introduction to Sherry. Yeah. Okay.
No, so a lot of people didn't really know we were sisters even when I modeled, because we kind of wanted to always be independent, or I didn't really want her to help me. I always wanted to kind of make it on my own. So, I mean, it's really interesting. Even with YouTube, people didn't really know she was my sister until much later, until I think when I mentioned her in one of my Q&A videos, and then people were like, oh, yeah, you do look like her. I was like, yeah.
Okay, then I must say, yeah, my observation skills are good.
Yeah, your observation skills are really good.
Yeah. Okay, so Sherry, what's the most useless talent you have?
The most useless? Oh, wow. Useless talent I have. Wow, this is a tough one. I mean, I would say the ability to eat. I can eat a lot of food, and I don't think it's very useful. But I can eat a lot, and yeah, I can eat a lot of junk and unhealthy stuff. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's really a talent, but yeah, like a lot of my friends used to always be like, oh, now Sherry's going to eat, or like now Sherry's going to eat. Now let's watch Sherry eat, because it used to be like, okay, this really skinny person eats a lot of food. So yeah, I guess that's kind of useless, because I really don't need to eat that much. But yeah.
You actually you can eat, because your metabolism is so
helpful. I mean, I have a really high metabolic rate, which is why, I mean, I eat anything and get away with it.
Yeah, and your mukbang videos are so tempting. Like when you used to do them, I was like,
yeah.
Khana. And then besides this useless talent, is there a very easy thing that you screw up very often?
I'm very clumsy. I mean, in life, I'm a very clumsy person. So I'm always dropping things. I'm always tripping. I'm always I'm just really, really clumsy. I mean, like that's something I've always been. So I find that is really not improved with age. It's only gotten worse.
Okay. And what's something your brain tries to make you do, and you have to will yourself? I don't want to do it. I will not do it.
Oh, something my brain wants me to do, but I don't do it.
Yeah. You have to control yourself.
I mean, I'm very bad at controlling myself, honestly. If I were to say I don't do something, I'll do it that day. You know, I'm like that. So it's really like, that's why when people say, oh, what diet do you follow? I'm like, I can never diet, because the minute I say I'm not going to eat something sweet or whatever, I'll eat something sweet that very day, because the whole day it'll be on my mind. So I'm really the opposite of that, actually. I mean, I'm kind of someone who is definitely controlled by my impulses and urges, and I'm not very disciplined when it comes to that. Yeah, so the only thing, I mean, I'm lazy sometimes when it comes to working out. So I mean, over the last 8 months, I barely worked out. But as in, I would say, when I was before pre-pandemic, I'd say my mind would be like, okay, don't go for a run, chill, you know, just sit down. But I used to run a lot, because I enjoyed running generally. It's like it was just that tussle to kind of get out there and do it, or wake up early and do it. So that is something I would have I guess, mental fight about. But other than that, I mean, I'm not very good with controlling my urges. I usually end up doing what my mind says.
Okay. Then what's the first thing you do after you pick up your phone?
After I pick up my phone, when the first thing in the morning, or any time?
Like whenever you pick your phone. Many people don't pick their phone the first thing in the morning. So yeah.
I mean, I would say browse online, I guess. Like, I go to all my pages, my videos, my latest video, check the comments, or see Instagram, or browse on Twitter. Yeah, so just browse across social media is the first thing I would do in the morning, for sure, in bed.
Okay, so work starts as soon as you get up then?
No, I mean, it's more like I think like just you know, like entertainment kind of browse. I don't think it's really like a work related browse. It's more like to see what's happening in the world, or what has happened while I was sleeping, or that kind of a browse.
Okay. So it's maybe FOMO kind of browse. FOMO might be a strong term, but
yeah. I mean, like, just to see what the world is up to, honestly.
Just to catch up on everything.
Yeah.
Okay. And Sherry, can you describe yourself in 3 words?
In 3 words, wow. Okay. I would definitely say talkative would be one. The other would be stubborn,
Okay.
and the third would be. I mean, I don't know. I'm looking at all positive terms mostly, other than stubborn, but over
Over and through.
into. Like
Yeah.
I'm always really like. I mean, I can be very over enthusiastic about things. Like that. I mean, most people will use the word bubbly, but I hate the word
Okay.
term bubbly when they're like, "Oh, you're so bubbly." So I'm like, no, that like. I mean, I know what you mean, but I don't like the term. So I would say over and through, but like meaning the same thing.
Okay, like your hi guys. That
Yeah,
is
I
also
mean that's
very
not really
good.
like I am in person, but like most people expect that if they saw me on the street that that's how I would react. But I'm like, guys, I'm not that crazy. Where I'm just like, like I don't walk around going, hi guys, hi guys, hi guys. I mean, I'm a much more sober or like especially people I don't know. But
Yeah.
people I guess who I'm close to or who know my energy,
Mhm.
would probably say it's the same, like a different version of it, but like the same high energy in terms of like joking or stalking or being like over into and like loud.
Okay. And Sherry, what's the one life lesson or maybe the best advice you got?
I think my dad told us when we were really young, try everything once, and if you don't like it, you don't have to do it again or don't eat it again or whatever in
Mm-hmm.
life, and that applies to food or to experiences or whatever. And I think that's something that is always stuck with me. I'm someone who's really like I love to try new things, try new foods, so I've never really ever restricted myself on anything because of that, and I truly believe that that has kind of enhanced my experience of life because it's wonderful when you travel or when you have these different experiences that you have the option to try, uh, where you don't have to really convince yourself to try it. You know you want to do it. So,
Okay. Actually, this is one thing that I need to learn as well. I
but is
mean,
it something that like you don't do a lot of like you're not very experimental with things?
yeah, I get scared. It's fear maybe. I
No,
try
but
to
I think
teach this to
fears
my
are part of
daughter.
it. Like
Mm-hmm.
for me, I think even if I'm scared of something, I would still want to do it. Like I mean, I
Uh-huh.
have the fear, but I still want to do it. It's not
Yeah.
like okay, I don't want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So like whether I've done various things like whatever, like skydiving or swimming with
Oh.
sharks or whatever, and there's always that that bit in your stomach that feels wobbly before you do it, and you're like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
should I do this or not?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like in that sense, it's always been in my head that no, I want to try it. I don't want to be a person that didn't try it.
Mm-hmm.
So like that kind of pushes me to like go ahead and do it.
Wow. So it also applies to everything you do because it applies to your videos, it applies to all your content, even, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess in life, I
Yeah.
mean, I'm just someone who rarely says no to things. Like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not someone who's like, if someone's like, oh, try this, or, like food wise or otherwise, like, I would never say no. Like, I'm all
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, sure, let me taste it. So, it's not like I've ever had that in my head of, no, I definitely don't want to do this.
ओके सो कूल सो शेरी जो आज हम लोगों ने बातें करी आई एम श्योर कि ये जो लोग सुनेंगे स्पेशली द पीपल हु वांट टू स्टार्ट कंटेंट क्रिएशन और हु आर ऑलरेडी डूइंग दे विल डेफिनेटली गेट इंस्पायर्ड बाय योर थॉट्स जो भी आपका थॉट प्रोसेस है रिगार्डिंग कंटेंट क्रिएशन और रिगार्डिंग लाइफ सो बिफोर वी रैप अप डू लेट अस नो हाउ कैन पीपल कनेक्ट विद यू ऑनलाइन
I mean, on any of my platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube in the comments. I'm always available, and that's the best way to kind of reach me.
डू यू रिप्लाई टू ऑल योर डीएम्स
I don't reply to all my DMs, but I try my best to respond to most of the comments. So at least see the comments and respond to the ones that are question related, because a lot of the comments are just like, people saying how they feel, like not necessarily asking me for a response. It's sometimes like, okay, I really like the video, or I didn't like this, or I like that. So I try to respond to at least all the question oriented DMs, or maybe comments, which is a question when someone asks me specifically saying, oh, in this video, how did you do this, or what are you wearing, or those kind of things. But yeah, so I try my best to respond to people everywhere. But it's a bit difficult to get each and every one, but I try my best.
Okay, so then do connect with Sherry online, and as she said that she tries to replies to all her DMs and she replies to the comments. So do connect with her if you are not already connected with her. And Sherry, thank you so much for giving your time to Little Fixes and
Thank you
sharing.
so much.
Yeah, and everything you shared, I'm sure it is going to be really helpful for our audiences. Thank you.
I hope so. Thank you so much for having me. This was fun.
थैंक यू फॉर लिसनिंग टू दिस चैट। इस चैट को सुनने के बाद आपको ये ज़रूर समझ में आया होगा कि आप अपने जैसा रह के, ऑथेंटिक रह के भी पॉपुलर हो सकते हो, और एक्चुअली वही आपको लॉन्ग टर्म में बेनिफिट भी देगा। कोई ज़रूरी नहीं है कि आपका पहला वीडियो या 10वां पीस ऑफ कंटेंट वायरल हो जाए, बट डाउन द लाइन इन द लॉन्ग रन वही चीज़ आपकी हेल्प करती है। एंड यू नो व्हाट, इस इंटरव्यू को लेने से पहले आई वाज रियली नर्वस बिकॉज आई एम अ ह्यूज फैन ऑफ शरी, और मुझे लग रहा था मैं उनसे कैसे बात करूंगी, क्या बात करूंगी, शी इज़ अ सेलिब्रिटी, बट शी वाज सो नाइस, सो काइंड, सो हम्बल। मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा उनसे बात करके। एंड इधाया, माई डॉटर, इज ऑल्सो अ ह्यूज फैन। शी ऑल्सो टॉक टू शरी आफ्टर आवर इंटरव्यू गॉट ओवर, बट आई फॉरगॉट टू रिकॉर्ड दैट पार्ट, सो मैं आपको नहीं सुना पाई। बट येस, अगर आपको लगा है कि ये चैट है, इसको सुन के आपको ये थोड़ा भी फील हुआ है कि योर कॉन्टेंट हैज़ टू हैज़ योर ओन यूनिक स्टाइल, प्लीज़ इस एपिसोड को शेयर कीजिए सोशल मीडिया पे और अपने फ्रेंड्स एंड फैमिली के साथ। आप हमें इंस्टाग्राम एंड फेसबुक पे टैग कर सकते हैं @LittleFixesPodcast। अपने पॉडकास्ट प्लेटफॉर्म पे लिटिल फिक्सेस पॉडकास्ट को सब्सक्राइब करो। नेक्स्ट एपिसोड के लिए नेक्स्ट वेडनेसडे का वेट करो। लाइफ में मजे करो और सदा सैसी रहो। बाय।